We gotta get this in and then fire up an engine that hasn't run in a year.
Yeah. And see if it moves.
And see if it moves with new fluid in it. No grind. And a pickup tube that's actually pointing the right way.
Yep.
Did you talk about that in the video at all?
Here's the tube Connor was talking about.
Now this is what I noticed too.
That tube right there.
They knew it was an issue because they put a 2-bolt flange on to hold it.
Right, and ours isn't that new, is it?
Ours is an early model that's got a compression knot.
So it allowed that tube to spin and go upward. So it was sucking high. Because it's just what? It's just this compression fitting thing.
Yes.
And that's what holds it. Oh, you can see it in there.
It was pointing up.
It was pointing up. So I think that could be part of our not sucking enough oil. Plus we were running it low. So it was extra low because of that. Remember I said these are meant, you know, if you run low, they're meant to have an oil level that when you're a 45-degree angle up and down, it still picks up oil.
It was an inch off the bottom instead of 4.
Yeah, because it was spun up.
There's a big difference there. Plus suction. You ever have a pool, like a pool basket?
Yeah, right.
When that gets low on water, it starts to do that.
It does what do they call
vortex.
That? A vortex. Mm-hmm. Not to be confused with the Chevy Vortex, was it?
Polar vortex. We keep getting
polar vortex. Oh man, you got grease on my flashlight. There's that too. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, I see a problem. Oh, Connor, I see a bigger problem yet.
What?
Holy, look at this. That gear ate a hole through that pipe.
No, it didn't. I saw that already.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Sure looks like a hole through that pipe to me.
It didn't go all the way through it.
Wow. Okay. After much deliberation, we've decided we're going to try to take this apart and get that tube out of there because of the way the gear's chopped into it. It doesn't appear as though it's all the way through, but we don't like the looks of it. Oh, see, it wasn't even that hard.
It loosened before. The pipe turning is the problem. Maybe you could pop. Why don't we hit on that? We get a block of wood
and give it a tap.
Yeah, and beat it out.
You want to take that nut all the way off?
Well, I'll take it off as far as I can. It's eventually going to start hitting.
Oh, the whole pipe is turning?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Oh, we can get an eyeball on it then.
You know, I almost thought that they did that on purpose, but you're right. Let's shoot it.
Oh, I think that's fairly severe.
Do I just put some JB Weld on it?
Yeah, I love JB Weld. No, we can weld it.
Well, they get enough.
Yeah. Oh, you think you can reach in there and get it? It's not all the way through, is it? Actually, while you're right there, let me put my finger on it. You know what I think it did? See, that wall thickness isn't that thick.
No. Do you think it actually
I think it mushed it in, and it's razor edge on those 2 points.
Yeah.
So even if we just put a bead of weld there, I think I'd be, if we can get it out. If we can't, I guess we don't.
Can't weld it in place.
No. Whoa, that moved it.
Ooh, a slip collar.
Yeah. It's a compression fitting. Isn't it?
Yeah. So now, if we can get this to move.
Oh, we'll get it to move. You got her. My, but you're strong. Oh, maybe I'll try that giant size 13 boot again.
12, thank you.
You're so dainty.
Oh, let's do it. Nobody likes to do.
Not that. See, and that's why you never use wrenches that way.
Yeah.
Oh man, I get real mechanics. You're gonna give me hell on that one. Of course, I never get bad comments. I got a couple guys give me great comments, and I really appreciate it.
Yep.
And truly, if it really is, I have had wrenches slip doing that.
Wrench breaks and slip.
And it can hurt.
But you don't wrap your fingers around it.
Yeah.
That's my trick.
Yeah, we did a lot of waffling, because that's coming out pretty easy. Looky there.
Okay, it's not a big deal.
Okay, so we're going to fix that.
That's creative. That's really something. It did bend it. It's bent.
Yeah, it's bent. So we got a press. We'll straighten it out, make it so it doesn't run into the gear again, and we
We've got another tube.
We got another what?
Another tube.
Oh.
We could cut it off and then put it through this compression fitting and, you know, ditch the 2-bolt flange part of it.
And just slide it through.
Yeah.
If it works. And if it don't work,
this one's pretty beat.
It's pretty beat up.
It's pretty messed up.
Why don't you go get the one that we know, the other one, and we'll take a look at both of them, see what we can build.
You know, because I think this transmission was like a 70 or a 69. That's like a 67, I think.
That must be a little older, and
yeah.
So this was the revised thing. The other one must have leaked.
It's also what the book shows.
Okay.
The 2-tab pipe.
Not much we can do with that, I don't think. I think we're just going to fix this one and put it back in.
You cut that tab off and you got the same piece.
Cut what tab off?
Cut the tab off. And then it's a piece of pipe.
Okay.
And then you put the collar and the ring on it and blah, blah, blah.
You want to go that route?
It's brand new.
All right.
I think.
Brand new.
Other than the rust.
Yeah, rust ain't no big deal. We can wire that off. But listen, what's the seal part of this whole thing? It's got a split compression collar.
Yeah, that must be what they are thinking is going to seal.
I don't see how. That must be why they updated it.
Well, sealing, you'd think they'd have a for the hose to go on too.
Wait a minute. Is it flanged? No. It's not.
It's not flanged.
Can we drill that, tap it, and use the flange?
They made that the boss there. That's machined flat.
Right.
Now let's see what we could do. Maybe we could do something smart.
Not
good. That's about the position you want to be.
Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah.
No, don't like that idea.
So yeah, they revised the case too.
So I've actually lost track of what's what. This front cover went with this transmission, right?
Everything on this transmission is this transmission.
Okay.
There's nothing
That's
mixed.
right, because we just changed it out.
The only thing that we've mixed is this pinion gear and that bevel gear at this point. Those are the only two things we've swapped. This is what it was.
So you want me to cut that off and tune that up? Is it the same diameter and everything? It doesn't matter.
Let's mic it out and see. Yeah.
On the end too.
1, 2, 6, 4.
It's the same length, same everything. They're the same.
This one's in better shape.
Okay.
This one's all
bent.
Look how bent it is.
Yeah, I know, it's really...
So I don't know if we ever told YouTube world that too.
Told them what?
How it was missing that sleeve.
Oh, yeah, there was a gear sleeve missing in there.
There's 2 gears in there. Those gears were able to walk about a half of an inch, and I bet you it's what caused this.
I wouldn't doubt it. Something got in there and bent that, which is weird.
That gear kept nicking it, and I bet it bent it up.
Something happened.
Couple first times it caught it, it bent it up.
Oh yeah, it would bend it.
It would bend it up.
And that's what spun it out of position
Probably also what spun it out of position.
All right.
We don't like this one as much.
Okay, so we're gonna do the other one. Clean it all up.
I'm gonna try and get this off. And if you wanted to get that off for me, that'd be cool.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Make it.
That didn't go so good. They got such nice penetration down in there when I went to knock that off. Even after grinding it, tore right down into it. So what did we do, Con? We got that tube in there. We went to the original old tube and we got it in there. Dang it.
Yeah, I welded it and grinded it.
And now it's, you can see it there. It's what? It's like a 1-inch pipe. I would call that 1 inch, maybe 1 1/4, and we got it hanging up off about 3/4, maybe a little more.
Yeah.
So it's gonna sump pretty close to the bottom. I think that's better than sucking air.
Yep, I think so.
So, no, we just tightened this, put a bunch of sealant on the threads, and then tightened up that compression nut.
I'm gonna do a tack to this, and I'm gonna do a tack to that, and then we could always cut it later.
Okay, yeah, make it small.
Yep, just a little buzz.
Yep, looks good.
They're input shafts to the transmission.
Yeah. Because we had 2 transmissions to start with.
Yeah, so this one's out of the transmission we're using, but it's got spline wear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's this spline, this is the end where the yoke goes on for the drive shaft.
Correct, it is floppy.
And this is the end that goes in the transmission.
Yep, and there's a bearing that runs right there, a bearing race. So this is the one with good splines. But the bearing race apparently seized or wore the shaft out. Somebody had to weld on it and build it up. So
well, they didn't do the best job in the world, did they?
No.
Honestly, to use that shaft, that should get turned down, welded up, and turned down to where it's smooth. Not.
Yeah, not like that. I think it still went on a lathe.
You think it went on a lathe?
I do.
Oh, you could see turn marks in it.
Yeah, they never would have got it round enough.
Yeah, that's terrible welding for that. So, if you weld that up and turn it, it should look like nothing happened to it. No. But here's what Case did.
Yeah, they skipped the machining process.
Yeah.
They should have put that bearing race on a full surface. So it's probably what caused that in the first place. So that one might actually be better. It's almost a press fit in the bearing race. It's got more surface area touching the bearing, and it's got full splines.
These are those dilemmas you get into when you're doing this stuff.
I don't know which one to use.
How big is it a deal to change it out if it goes bad? If it goes bad, it's got to flop around in there and cause all kinds of other carnage.
You got to take both brakes off. And then the high-low shift cover. You don't have to take the whole cover.
It's a job.
It's not an easy job.
It's almost where it would be easier to yank the transmission out again to get to it.
Yeah.
Since we're getting so good at that. All right. I don't know what we're going to do. I guess we'll have to mull it over.
But when I found this shaft, it still had the inner bearing race on it. And I just put it in the press, and it barely had to press out.
So it's not super tight?
No. So if I just put this in the freezer for a while, I bet you I could slide it right.
You just put that bearing right on.
Or I'll just go and try to fit it over that.
Now what about this one? How tight was this one?
That one's not tight at all, because it came right off. It left the bearing race in the transmission.
Oh, better off with that one. Even though it's well built up, It's got the better splines on front. I say we go with this one.
Let's do it.
So instead of using the bad good one, we're going to use the good bad one?
Yep.
Okay.
The good bad one.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Are there any gears that got to go on there too, or no?
Yeah, there is. This is that gear. And it's not doing it. You know what that means?
I do. You want to throw that thing in the freezer.
I think so.
And then we got to do it quick.
Well, yeah. That's why those grooves were in it.
Oh, so to line up onto the gear?
Yeah.
Well, you got to be able to get it on the gear. It was on the gear on the other one.
The gear teeth go below the bearing race.
Oh.
I don't know who took this apart.
How did they do it?
I don't know.
Well, you just took it apart with the stuck on the shaft, but the gear was not on it.
No, the gear was still on it too.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
okay.
I think we have to use the other one.
We have to use the other one. All right. Well, that made up our mind again. So we're back to using the bad good one.
Yes. Maybe we'll do the Allen key trick.
Yeah, we could probably do that. We probably don't really need to, honestly. It's not so sloppy that it's flopping around too much.
It gets constant pressure mostly.
Yeah, one-way constant pressure. Yeah. That spline will last a long time, actually. Long, long time. And that's easier to fix, so.
Okay, yeah, because this one's going to go right in. Oink.
Yeah, okay, so that slipped right back in. It's
kind of a no-brainer.
Okay.
Just for ease of installation.
Yipper.
Okay.
I'm good with it.
Yep. I'm going to clean all this stuff up and put it back together and then put it in, because that's the next thing that's got to go on this.
He's been cleaning up everything. We got our table, little makeshift table set up and cleaning parts, getting the brakes cleaned up. They were all covered with rust, both sides. We're not sure about whether we greased the balls for them or not.
Did.
You did? Okay, so that's it. That's put together.
Just a little bit.
Next time you have one tore apart, we'll get a picture of it. You're going to tear the other one apart, right?
I still got to do another one.
Okay, and then we'll show you guys what it looks like.
It's pretty common brake setup on old.
Where you step on the brake really applies the balls.
There's two plates that turn and ramp up on ball bearings, and that's what makes them separate.
Yeah, and then when they separate, they tighten up the brakes and stop you with any luck. All right.
Or they stop you too quick because they grab.
They turn it. They can tend to lock.
Friction grabs and then.
Then they spin right out and stop you.
Yeah. Which means that those little inner springs are probably weak on.
Probably.
You know, and they lose control.
Yeah. So with a combination of pushing, prying, me on the back side of the transmission, reaching in and holding the gear in place, we were able to wiggle that shaft, the whole front housing on. It's got a shift collar and a shaft. Yeah. Thrust washers that had to be all aligned.
Thrust washer. I was holding the entire time through this hole.
Yeah.
To get it.
Had to get it
right. Otherwise, it would have fallen down and you
never get
tear it out and start over.
Yep. So looking good. Looking like we got that. A little bit of everything today, guys. So like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you on the next one.